Oh shit! It is the third episode with Lady Kelgore up in this motherfucker.
It's me.
Episode 38 of The Great Satan. We've surpassed the number of years old I am, and are now into the more than that. I've caught up to my years, and now we're doing.
Good job.
It feels like it would be a good time to get a fader button, but I'm not gonna, or knob or something for music. But we're just gonna go ahead and just make it stop. Like that's what I'll.
We should just play that the whole episode so that we both have to kind of like yell over the music.
Like, yeah, it would be good. That was
what?
Let's give shouts out where it's due. Young Ferrari, that track's called Jewelry. Young Ferrari,
nice.
Jewelry.
I liked it.
Shouts out Memphis, 808 Cowbell Funk. Hell yeah. The Dirty South. What people know about it?
Yeah.
A lot. It turns out not much. Most people.
You know, I was just thinking about. Okay, so you always hear. We're gonna get right into it. You always hear liberals talking about like they'll talk about another country, and another country's cultures like really respectfully, which is really good. I think like they'll be like, oh, like the country of Georgia, and they're like, you know, like they really try to like, even if there's some misogyny baked into their culture or violence, they try to speak about it in a way that's very like delicate and kind. Yeah. But then they talk about like the state of Georgia like it's fucking garbage. And it's like I think that the United States needs to have different countries within it. We are not united. Yeah, it's like it's ironic to call it that.
the concept of like confederation of states. I mean, we, you know, it got, let's say, co-opted by some very bad people, right?
Yeah. Americans.
well, literally fascists.
Right, okay.
And you know, the Civil War, right? So they were like, yo, confederation, that shit rocks. We're just all states. Like nation states, not states that are united. They're like, it's a confederation that's loose, but you're all fucking countries. They basically like made up a EU. Right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
They wanted like that, but they were like, I mean, also very racist, so bad, you know, not good people, but like they made this idea that was
but then also like the highest percentages of like people of color.
Correct. Yeah.
So really weird sort of thing going on with that.
They existed, but they didn't have the right to vote. So yeah, but it would no like yeah. So like it was founded in the idea of like oppressing those people, right? But it was still like, oh man, in a modern context, that would be tight as fuck for Georgia to be a country.
Well, luckily, all those ideas died out, and you know, history got the best of it, and now everybody's kind of just level playing field, and people just laugh at things like the Confederacy or Nazis or whatever. So
yeah, we can all just go to brunch. It's over.
True.
Yeah, it's fucking over.
It's gone, and it can never come back, and it will never come back.
Ever. There's no way that capitalism could ever have another like predictable 7-year cycle of falling apart. And
no.
Reactionaries would never uphold it for no reason.
We did it.
We did it. It's over. Mission accomplished banner, but it's at brunch.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Obama.
Shouts out.
Yeah. And Biden.
Yeah.
So I haven't spoken to you since the election.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So there's like, you know, a lot of stuff going on around the old homestead. So big break. The last episode was with, or first episode back was Young Sisyphus. That was super fun.
Super good episode.
Like a young, not just with the J, but like young in number of years that the person's been on the planet. So
yes. It was. I couldn't find them because I was searching with a Y, not a J.
Yeah. It was in the, I make sure, like, that's why I put it in the YouTube. It was also funny.
You made it too difficult for me to find.
Twitter unfollowed me. Like I unfollowed, I didn't unfollow this person, but like Twitter made it happen. I was like, just today, I was like,
why'd you do that?
We've been mutual follows for like years, you know? And they're like, nope, you don't follow them anymore. It's like, fuck. Anyway,
You were speaking in your last episode about tweeting from a flip phone, which I remember that. I used to do that.
T9, yeah.
You also could text Google.
Yes.
And you could be like, hey, this is my location. How do I get directions to the mall? And they would send you
turn by turn,
like 15 freaking texts.
Yeah.
And I used to use that.
Yeah, it's awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. Because even for a while with the first smartphones, maps wasn't really a thing. I don't think there was like enough data going around for that.
So I had my favorite, no, I was hoping it was near this desk, but I kept it. It's somewhere. It's not here. Never mind. I was like really stoked to pull out that it was this big, right? And then you flip it up and it had a full QWERTY keyboard, but it's like,
oh yeah, God, what were those called? Kick.
This was
Kick.
This was called the LG Remark with a Q.
Oh,
the entire housing was
sexy.
Was made of corn plastic, so
that's cool.
Biodegradable. And it had like
that doesn't seem good for electronics.
No, but like compared to like electronics that like imagine you're making like, let's say an iPhone, right? And an iPhone lasts in real life like the number of years you can use it, like 9 months, a year and a half, right? Something like that, right? 2 years tops.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it obsolete whether you like it or not,
or crack. Yeah,
or yeah, exactly, you white girl the phone, right?
Yeah.
I hate that we call it that, by the way, because it's like, motherfucker, I keep my phone in this pocket, and if I bend over, I'm dropping it. So
yeah,
like,
so you're the white girl.
I mean, well, that's back to the LG Remark. That bitch this big would be in my chest pocket 100% of the time. I was a drum tech. I was bending down like all the time, like over this, and it was just, and then it wouldn't fall out and hit like just grass. It would fall out and hit chromed steel drum hardware and be fucking fine. No, this is before cases.
So corn plastic was actually fine. I'm imagining like the corn plastic they make the biodegradable straws out of.
Yeah, it's exactly that same material.
Just harder, thicker.
Really thick, yeah. So it's about the.
So it's not going to biodegrade if you spill your coffee on it.
Does that? I've never used one of the corn plastic straws.
They'll melt after like 2 days.
Ow. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, I mean, it's great for straws, but it's bad for a phone.
yeah. It's not
anyways, though, so the election, Biden.
Right.
We are the good news is, you know, whether you like Biden or not, it is cool that we have our first, as a vice president, we have our first cop.
Right. Right.
So, first cop VP, I think. No,
I would say that's almost.
You're probably right. Possible. It's probably not a first. Lady cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
First lady VP.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to do research that I'm not qualified to do.
Yeah, I think if she qualifies as a cop, then probably some other VPs qualify as cops. In terms of, being
prosecutorial
arm of the law kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So I would say it's not our first cop, but definitely, hopefully our last cop president.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going so well.
It's not.
Yeah, the whole defund the police thing hasn't happened yet.
No, so even defund, which is the most moderate position, right? Abolition is moderate. Revenge is the left position. I would be some central, the thing Chris Matthews was scared about with Central Park, right? That's the left position is hey, where you?
Yeah, and I think you'd actually be kind of hard pressed to find large swaths of people that agree with that, which is the ironic part because they go around saying that everybody wants that.
Yeah, I mean, I want abolition.
Yeah, but you can even find you can't even find really large groups of people in most places that want the moderate position there.
Right.
Well, and
it depends on where, because when I talk to people, so like honestly, when I talk to cops here, right, in the Southeast, they're like, yeah, it fucking sucks that I have to do this, right? Like this part of the job sucks ass. I'd like to just do this. And they go, well, that's weird because that's not being a cop. Like that's not what anybody has a problem with being a cop for. Where they're like, I wish that I could just de-escalate rough situations, you know, and like they're uniquely qualified to like form tackle people instead of murdering them, right? And you're
like they do all this training and then just to de-escalate a situation. What the thing that over and over just really gets to me is you see these displays of force where there's literally like a 140-pound person, completely unarmored and unarmed.
Yeah.
And they're standing in the street, you know, maybe they have a cardboard sign, but usually they're not even holding anything.
Yeah.
And you'll see this absolute wall of armed and armored police officers with riot gear just covered. You can't even see an inch of their skin.
Right.
And they look so scared.
Yeah.
They look so freaking scared of these people. And they're in these big groups. And it's like, did it really take like 35 of you to arrest this like 140-pound girl that's out in the street protesting?
Or yeah.
How pitiful are you?
Right. Now with protests, that's where it's like, okay, I get the fear that they have where it's like, this sucks. I shouldn't have to do this. Right. Like, so the fear is like, they're not scared of the 140-pound girl. They're scared of the entire population of a city. Right.
Yeah. Or they're scared of like, if they got like caught doing the wrong thing, you know what I mean? Like,
the moral repercussions of the thing they're doing. Right. So that I get, but then it's like, sometimes you'll see, well, honestly, like the Derek Chauvin one, where it's like, this motherfucker has backup already. His partner's with him. He's evenly matched with a person that's, according to him, on drugs, but the drugs that he's on are incapacitating him, not making him strong. Like, what the fuck drugs?
He took the limitless drug or something. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Criminal genius. He's gonna break.
Yeah.
You know, like
did he take like the Bruce Lee like fighting skills drug? No. Like
when you focus on the finger, right?
Yeah.
You miss all that heavenly glory, right? So that's the drug he took, you know. But, and then the fear, he's not. So like when you look at that guy's face, he's not scared of shit, right? He's like, oh yeah, last time I killed a guy, Amy Klobuchar gave me $1.9 million, right? So
hold on real quick. I have to let my cat into this room or he's gonna
go off. I'll pause. That's right, folks. We are episode 38 of The Great Satan. We paused briefly for cats, but also we're going to go ahead and like take this opportunity of low dynamic moment and whatever to talk about our sponsor. I say our sponsor, like more than one person does this podcast. The plan was for a lot of people to do this podcast.
They're sponsoring me, actually.
Sure, yeah, we sponsor you. The Automotive Free Clinic out of Montgomery, Alabama. You need brake lights? Yeah, you do, because we don't want you getting shot by cops. That is the cutest cat in the world.
He's really nice.
Oh my God, those big green eyes. We're sponsored by Automotive Free Clinic. Get brake lights. Get your shit fixed. Make yourself get to work on time. Do it.
How much does it cost?
Depending on income. So free. If you are broke enough, it is free. If not, they've got a new program in place where you can pay as low as $20 a month for that's oil changes, all brake lights, maintenance on your vehicle. And this is a mobile free clinic. This is not a brick and mortar free clinic. They come to your fucking house. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. We don't have a record truck yet. I say they don't have a record. I work for the magazine. Like I write for the magazine. So
wait, is a record truck like a tow truck?
Yeah, exactly. They don't have a tow truck. They have a.
Or is it a truck that wrecks cars?
Yeah, well, they do have.
Why would you get that? Why? Nobody needs that.
Please don't do that. Like, why are you driving Bigfoot?
Yeah, going out to the Monster Jam. We bring the Monster Jam to you.
Yeah.
Automotive Free Clinic.
Grave digger.
Sounds kind
comes around and does backflips over the top of your car. So, but no, they've got great plans for the future in terms of purchasing salvage title vehicles, cash sale of $1 to people that qualify for it. We can't have light rail free at the point of service yet because America is a crime in progress at all times. The name of this podcast is The Great Satan for a good fucking reason. But in the meantime, we can make little steps that help people's lives get a little fucking easier, and single moms can get to work, right?
Right.
So
yeah, and screaming about trains doesn't always help the people that need it in the moment.
It just doesn't. I could scream until my whatever part.
We all love to scream about trains, okay?
God damn it!
But we got to stick with cars for now. And you said something in the last podcast about how electric cars aren't the answer to cars sucking.
Oh, fuck no, they're not. That's the worst thing. It's like
even in theory, if like you didn't have to mine precious, finite resources to make those electric cars, even if that wasn't the case,
you're still optimizing humans and saying
no, but yeah, it's just cars still. It's still just cars. So
yeah,
anyways.
Go back to, no, that's a great thing to bring up because it's like, imagine the car itself is fucking magic, right? Perfect magic made of magnesium alloy or something, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's perfect. It has fucking tires.
Yeah.
It has tires.
Mm-hmm.
That is so wasteful. So
yeah.
Speaking of which, they're not partnered yet with any used tire lots, but the one, I wish I had the name of it, but not all my listeners live in Montgomery, so it doesn't matter. But shouts out any used tire lots. Call those guys up. They hook you up. A lot of them are very cool. $30 a tire.
That's super cool. And you know what? When I lived in the South, maybe in the Midwest, but I didn't live in the Midwest very long. But when I lived in the South, it was the only time I'd ever seen used tire places. And I was like, at first I thought it was like a joke. I was like, why would you want the used tires? And then, but like, yeah, because there's like all sorts of reasons you might get rid of tires before the tread is gone. But I don't think that's a thing here.
Yeah, so a lot of places have inspections, like they have laws and stuff. So you can't do used tires, but like used tire lots here usually pull off of salvage title vehicles. So most of the time,
the tires are perfectly good. Yeah, like 1,000 miles on them.
Wrecked cars with literally 1,000 miles on them, they're pulling the tires off. So, and even if that's not the case, they're not like sticking a penny in and nothing. The whole thing's visible. Like it's perfect tread.
I hydroplaned once when I was like 18 or 19 years old. It was really rainy and it was at a spot where they were doing construction. So that freeway was all fucked.
Yeah.
And so luckily it wasn't so, I hydroplaned and I on the freeway and I went off the road, but luckily the mud from the rain was so thick that it slowed me down and I kind of bounced off the guardrail very gently, right? Like I wasn't hurt. The car got like some dents. So I was able to drive to whatever the automotive repair place and like the next day. And the guy, most of the time these people are like very sweet customer service people. And this guy gave me a fucking lecture. He's like, your tires are white. Yeah. They're bald. Look at them. Like, what are you doing? You have to change your tires when they get like this. And I was just like, sorry.
Yeah.
Stupid shit that people just don't learn, but except the hard way. But so I won't make that. That was very scary though, hydroplaning.
No, it's fucking terrifying. Like it is so much better. It is so much better to have a used tire with some tread on it than a tire you bought new that is bald. Right?
Yes. Or a train.
I mean, yeah.
That's the next best option.
it's not, nothing's better than a train, of course, but.
Yeah. No tires on a train. Imagine if trains had tires.
That's what Elon Musk's whole thing
Yeah.
is. He's like, what if trains had tires? Because he's like, we're going to put them on, we're going to make the internet be the track.
Oh, whatever. I tweeted the other day how Elon Musk is a billionaire version, but like he's a billionaire, but he has the aesthetic and like vibe of one of those get rich quick gurus that sells you like a drop shipping video, how to do drop shipping, Amazon, whatever, from your house.
Yeah.
What is it? He's just so like cringy and it's like fake smart.
Yeah, fake smart. So fake smart
in a scammy way.
Thing. I was thinking about that the other day, where I was like, the fake. So like, what did people probably think of like even Tesla and Edison, right? So like, neither one of them was like literally the smartest dude on the planet at that time. They just happened to have the publicity. And Tesla is way smarter than Edison, of course. Did invent things and did do science in his house and stuff, right? But like, people at the time were like, yo, Edison is a fucking genius. This guy shocked an elephant. That rocks, that elephant, and then now we're like, what an idiot, right? We look back at like, what a fucking dumb, that is the dumbest old dude I've ever seen. Like, which is like, he would buy elephants, right? Which is like, you have to put those on a boat. They didn't like have planes for elephants, So he's putting an elephant.
Yeah, that's such a weird idea.
And then he's like, yo, I'm going to, in the city square, I'm just going to like chain this elephant up. And then just to make like Tesla look shitty, he's like, this will kill an elephant, which is like, I mean, cool. Elephants suck, right? Like they hated elephants. So, but it just is crazy. It's like,
okay, but doing that,
what are we gonna
wait? So you're saying Edison was doing it to make Tesla look bad?
Yeah, because he was like, he used AC power to do it.
Right. So okay, but Edison deciding to embrace circus culture like that is Elon Musk embracing get rich quick culture. Like it's like this gross, like, I'm going to be this weird, scammy, sort of like, I have this weird enthusiasm that people like.
Where his money comes from is not from the business selling or building, right? His business makes money because people invest in it, right?
Yeah.
So what is
which is like a scam.
Get rid quick scheme thing you could
or like you have to order the car before you get it and you have to like, what is that?
Dude, I'm on a fucking SEC waiting list for money back on a car like that from Louisiana. I didn't like pay the whole amount, but I paid $100 down payment on a car, right? That didn't exist. I was just like, that's what I want.
I got scammed out of a car too.
It was not a hybrid car. It was just like, it got 83 miles to the gallon and was like $5,000 or something, like whatever it was. And in my state, I would have to wear a helmet while I drove it, but like, I didn't care. I was like, fuck it. It gets 83 miles to the gallon. Like, that's not really. So I was like, I put the money down on the car, and then they were like, we're not a car company anymore. Sorry. So like,
the fuck?
This is almost a decade ago. This is like so fucking long ago. And well, no, some people paid full pop, right? There are people waiting for $6,000 checks, like $5,800 from this company that just like bought all the machines to build cars, a lot of materials.
Yeah.
Right? Built a couple thousand cars.
That's crazy. And also like that and other things also just go to show like how terrible our government and justice system is at controlling like scams at all. Like, so I've been doing all this, I guess, like fun research about like scams and stuff and scammy businesses.
Yes.
And it's so interesting, but like at the end of every video, it's just kind of like, it's not really anything we can do about this. Just educate yourself.
Right.
Because like the government doesn't even regulate these things.
Fucking buyer beware, right? Makes no sense. It's like, well, who's going to aware the buyer, right? Why do we have a defense department? Like, what the fuck does our government do? Like, why do we have a military if they're not going to, like, if the number, so like, I'm a cigarette smoker. I've been a cigarette smoker since I was like 12 years old, right?
Rock and roll.
Off and on, yeah, rock and roll, yeah. Literally rock and hand roll. Like, I rolled my own.
Dang.
I was like, oh, Jack Kerouac did it in that book. That's what I'll do, right? Like, roll a cigarette. So yeah. Very impressionable child with access to a library. Speaking of which, the government's bad. No, I'm joking. So the library is awesome. And I was like, I thought
the library made me smoke.
Yeah, the library did it. So, but I was like the idea, like, buyer beware or whatever. I'm not saying like the government prevented cigarettes from existing, right? But like, if that's the number one thing killing Americans, and people really believe that to be true, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone is like, cigarettes are killing. It's like, what kind of accident are you having with cigarettes where they kill you at the age of 20? Like, Oh,
right.
Like, when they're like, when we think of like death rates, it's like cars, right? Cars is the thing.
Cars is a big one. And heart disease, but the thing with heart disease is that's like an umbrella term for like 10 different things. And it is still really serious. And it's basically like based around lifestyle factors, most of it, with like some hereditary. But yeah, like that's like saying like
it's not killing 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Largely. Whereas like the car deaths thing is killing people from the age of like unborn, 3,
unborn,
all the way to 90, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we were talking about scams. I was going to ask you if you've ever been recruited into like a pyramid scheme.
So
you've been approached?
Well, I've been in sales for a really long time. So the times that I've been like unemployed or like in the middle between employments, that I've like looked for new gigs, almost always there will be something that pops up that's like, we can get you started doing, and you're like,
well, and it's one of those things. It's like, it's not that different than an MLM, but it's a little more legitimate. Is like, a lot of legitimate companies where they want you to sell a product, the reason they're so eager to get you in is because they don't have to fucking pay you.
Right.
Because it's all commission based. And so it's still kind of a weird gray area, but have you ever worked for a company that like turned out to be a pyramid scheme?
Yeah, so I did. I took one of those jobs where it's like, okay, well, this is normal to just like not get a salary. I mean, I was like 19, 20. I was like, I understand that like they're not operating in my state, right? So they don't have to pay minimum wage, but the commission structure works like this. And so I sold, this is crazy, I sold a texting service for churches.
Oh, dang.
Where they would text.
That's so specific.
Yeah, it was crazy specific. So the market was churches.
Are you a man of God?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a job. I mean, it's a job.
That kind of makes it even like slimier. Like you're going up to these churches like, do you need a texting service?
Well, I know the language. I was in a...
Yeah. You live in Alabama, yeah.
Well, I don't want to say Christian band, but I was in a band that played shows that Christian plays.
Oh, yeah. Like, and I feel like it's like baked into Southern culture too, where like no one in the South is like, what Bible? Like... Yeah. God, I'm not really that familiar.
Yeah. It was like, so I knew culturally like what Protestant churches did to like keep people in touch, you know, whether it's like prayer requests or whatever. And then like what needs people had, that's another big part of it. So I was like really into it. Like I was like, oh, this is super practical. Like, hey, if someone goes, hey, you know, Pastor Steve, whatever, this family that lives in my neighborhood needs food this week. Right? Because we live in a fucking hell world and the government, nobody's going to help them. Right?
Yep.
These churches do, largely jump out when they can and help. So it was like, oh, this is a fucking cool thing to work for. And I mean, sales is, this is a, you know, you'll read this everywhere if you ever do sales. Sales is the transfer of enthusiasm, right?
Yeah.
It's about being enthused about the product and telling a person like, you fucking need this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is back, I mean, again, this is 03, right?
Yeah.
02, 03. So the idea that a church could have this thing that exists outside of message board culture and the internet with which to communicate the needs of each other, right? And do the work that the church does, most of which is very good, right? And is not just oppression, right? Where they're like, hey, Steve beat his wife. Let's go talk to her and make her not leave him, right?
Right.
Like, that's a bad thing.
No, just like normal, like charitable stuff that churches do. Yeah, like, hey, here, this is when we're going to have our thing, our event, or our soup kitchen kind of thing. And like,
the margins on it weren't that crazy. It wasn't like.
So, but did you have to like buy in?
No, they sent, that was the coolest thing. They sent me like all this fucking material. They sent me business cards with my name, brochures, right?
So that's,
Now here's where it gets fucked up though.
Yeah.
I worked for them for like 3 months, right? Sold the shit out of it, right? I mean, not to brag, your boy's a fucking closer, right?
Yeah.
We
know. Yeah, we all know.
Like,
yeah.
especially when I was a young buck, I was fucking, if I made a phone call, right? 1 in 10 chance, right? Like it was, I fucking closed, right?
Yeah.
So I sold the shit out of this service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Made this company, I hate to even calculate. Like it's a bummer to think about.
Like thousands of dollars,
Thousands and thousands of dollars. Like I would say in 3 months, I probably made them $60,000 to $80,000, right? Because these are contracts that last a year plus, right?
Yeah.
So the number of churches I closed times the number of months times the monthly fee, and then subtract out the $0 it costs to run an NT server that you type an email to, and then they copy paste that message into an SMS messaging program. Like, even if you have a human being do it, which I doubt they did.
Yeah. It's pretty cheap.
It would be so much, like so little overhead. The point is, I don't think I ever got a check from them. Like not one, right? I just think they were like, whatever. And then just stops. So the money that they put up front to a sales staff is actually just the materials, like the brochures.
Yeah, that's super fucky. So that's definitely a scam. Right. 100%. I don't know like how it qualifies, but I think usually with pyramids or MLMs, you have to like buy in, which for that, it would have been hard because you can't buy like the program. You don't have to like,
if they'd done that, I would have been loaded, right? Like if they'd been like, you give us $70 and then we tell you how to make an NT server and then do your own. Like I would have made $80,000 in 3 months. Like, because
someone else above you would have been getting like half your money probably, but
still, if you get 40 grand in 3 months as like a fucking 20-year-old, you know,
you must have some family members that sell fucking MLM makeup or something, probably, right? Or essential oils. Nobody.
My parents were fucking smart. Like we made fun of. I remember very little, like 4, 5, 6, them making fun of their friends that were doing Amway.
Yeah,
like, being like these dumb motherfuckers, like.
And I remember a few things from my childhood. I think we one time had a Tupperware party for my aunt or something, which Tupperware was an interesting one because it was sort of like a reverse MLM because I think they were like a consumer facing company and then they went into network sales.
Correct.
So they were like already reputable, which is kind of weird. And then I remember one time, I think it was a tutor, like my sister's math tutor or something, like, some 17, 18-year-old woman that like probably made like $10 tutoring my sister. I remember we like afterwards, she was like, oh, I'm like selling this jewelry and stuff. And she like went and like opened the trunk of her car and she had all this shit in there. And I remember my mom being really weird about it and just being like, oh, no, thanks. Like, it was like all this like cheap fucking jewelry. This was in like 2000 or earlier too.
Right.
So it was like weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have several family members that to this day are in MLMs and or have been in them recently.
Right.
And then I have a couple that continue to like full on, full time.
Yeah.
Selling like, you know, water filtration machines and shit.
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
Life insurance.
Life insurance is a big one. So I you know, again, I've been in sales a long time. I've done fucking numbers. I have a very respectable resume as a salesperson. And I was like, just applying for every sales job because, like, why not, right? Like, whatever.
Yeah, and you would think that regular life insurance company would need salespeople to manage accounts. Yeah. It's totally reasonable.
And like some dude calls and he's like, how do you feel about multi-level? And then I was like, well, that depends on what you mean. Like, I'm fine with like keeping track of people that are underneath me, you know, in a like sales hierarchy, like helping them to be better. Like sales training is a thing that I'm very good at. And I love telling people how to sell. Like, you know, these are ideas that I'm like, okay with. Like sales is, you know, a thing that I love, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun to like teach people how to be fucking charming about a thing. It's fun. So, but this guy's like, whatever. I'm not going to talk too much about the details of it, but it was like, oh wait, so I have to pay how much to do what? Okay, that's now I'm out. I'm fucking out. Like, dude,
you have to pay for your own training, all this shit. Yeah.
Like, no, I'm out now. Okay, what the fuck? Like, you're not giving anybody a job. You have a job listing where you're accepting resumes legally. Like, you're legally allowed to accept resumes because you have a job listing. You are listing for a job, and then you are not giving anybody a job. You are selling people.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
You're selling people bullshit. Yeah, I when I moved to Georgia, I put out I had some administrative qualifications, and so just did like regular Craigslist ads and stuff. And someone wrote me back. I'm pretty sure it was for an administrative assistant. I think it was something along those lines. They wrote me back. They said, "Hey, we'd love to interview you." Super basic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I show up. And it's like an office in a little office, like a little strip mall kind of thing.
Yeah.
I go in this office and there were like some like vacuums in the window. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know what this company is. And so they get me in there and there were like 2 other people there too. And, here I am, I'm like all prepared to be like, oh, like, let me really explain to you that I'm so perfect for this job because I like really needed money.
Right.
And they already had hired me. Like the minute I walked in, they were like, okay, so this is what you're going to be doing. And I'm like, what do you mean and then they start talking about it. And then they're like, and so-and-so is going to come and talk to you guys. And this young kid gets up there and he starts talking to us about how easy it is to sell these air purifiers.
Oh, God.
And he was just going off about it. And I like knew what it was, but I was losing my mind because I thought it was so funny. And so I stuck around and they were talking about how, oh, look at, these are the pictures from our yearly barbecue that the boss puts on. He put a jet ski in the pool last year and he's got this fucking mansion down by the river and all this shit. And it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I tell this story to my family sometimes and it's just super funny because it's so weird to sit there and like be aware of what's happening and watch it in real time. But like now this was in 2013 maybe. Now it's super prevalent with like Instagram messages and stuff. People just sell the shit out of this. And now with the pandemic, it's like actually getting worse.
Yeah.
The whole MLM thing. Because people are so desperate.
They need to work from home. They need to work, period. But they definitely need to work from home, right? Like people, almost everybody is in some sort of domestic contact with a person that's at risk.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'd get a job out of the house. I need a job.
Right. Yeah. I'm almost there. Like, but the idea that like, but everybody's like just begging to work from home. So it's so easy for them to do this shit. And they are taking advantage of people. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's super fucked.
I won't tell the timeshare story. That's pretty funny though. But
timeshares. Oh God.
That one's really funny. But
But again, it's like buyer beware.
take it. Like I would I would take like 6 or 8 homeless people and be like, this place is offering free food for
just sit around, get crab dinner.
They'll give you a fucking, they feed you. So I was like,
that's funny.
Like I would take them, you know, and like we'd go get free food and then be like, all right, we all have no money, thank you, bye. And then just leave, and they would be like, that's not possible, like, you know. But they would like get really weird about it, where they were like, that can't happen, that can't, that no,
seriously.
They would just like get apoplectic, they would get Apollonia-plectic about it.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
One of Prince's girlfriends about it.
Oh, I love that episode of South Park with the timeshare. That's, and you know what? That episode maybe saved a lot of future people from getting scammed. You know, say what you will about South Park, but I swear to God, sometimes that show is like a PSA.
Yeah, it is. And I will say, like, I was just talking about like how dumb, like we were talking like on the last episode, we were talking about like how I'm super stoked about comedy coming back, like in the context of like just dumb comedy. But like seasons 3 to like 9, right? When they were not being like, here's this like crazy individualist libertarian right-wing messaging about cancel culture or something.
Yeah.
It was like that episode, it's great, where it's like, hey, this is a fucking scam capitalists are running to fuck you out of money. Like, they're going to take $100,000 and you get to live in a place a weekend a year.
Yep.
Right? Buy a fucking house in Florida.
And this meeting you go to, you're never going to get to leave.
No, you don't get to leave. But that's why it was fun to take multiple homeless people. It wouldn't be like 1 or 2 homeless people. I would be like, I need 6 or 8 homeless guys. And then we would just like walk in and be like, no, we're together. We're riding together. Yeah. I'm leaving. They're with me. And then we would all
timeshare.
We would leave, and they couldn't do anything about it because they're like, but like they were not prepared for that. They were prepared for like couples, right?
I hope that what you did at least made a few of those salespeople quit.
Oh, I know for a fact it did.
Because they went like, this is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
People are mocking us. They're not going to buy anything from us. We just spent 3 hours. We knew they didn't have money.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I did, this is another back to the same, like scamming scammers.
Yeah.
We did one with title pawns.
Oh God.
Like car title pawns. That was great. And I will get into that. Remember, I'm going to write down in my notes, title pawn scam. And then we're going to hit pause because I've got to pee, but this one's great.
Me too.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Oh, shit, and we're back. Episode 38, Great Satan. This is Junior Ferrari's Killing with the Glock. Check that shit out. It's all over YouTube, SoundCloud, shit's blowing up. Again, what y'all really know about the Dirty South. It's great. Eastern Europe's mostly catching on to the tone of the South. Every now and then.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll occasionally hear like cowbell melody in like pop music now, and it's like, fuck yes. Like, it is so cool.
You know how they say like certain like, you know, cultural things get like watered down?
Yeah.
I feel like the South is like a reduction. It's the opposite of watered down. It's like extremely like thick, viscous culture. And it's like, it's palpable. You know what I mean?
It's a gumbo.
Yeah. And like you can really like get that like aesthetic and tone, like, you know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like in California, we get kind of like watered down shit here a little bit. Like not all of it. We have some great stuff, but like, you know, certain things get a little bit like.
It is like
vanilla.
Accessible though, right? Like, so like even the greatest California like cultural touchstones are like pretty accessible, right? They're pretty broad. There's not like, oh fuck, did you hear about this thing from California that's like, and then 1 in 10 people is like down with it. It's like, no, everybody, that's okay.
Or like weird, California helps like a little bit of like weirder things get into the mainstream. It's like very like the like Janis Joplin shit. Like it's like she was super fucking weird, but like she's a household name.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, she was super weird, but also like super accessible. Like where it's like,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, somebody needed to do like Hendrix was just like loud psychedelic blues guitar. She was just like loud psychedelic R&B. Like that was not abnormal. It was just like she found those moments of like, you know, and like made it bleh, like whatever. So she's still she's super accessible though. Still, like I don't think people would be like, "Oh, Janis Joplin. Oh, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard." When like Yoko Ono exists, or whatever.
No, but I think at the time it was. At the time it was like a little bit edgy or something.
I can get
because she was like, you know, no bra.
That's
I literally can never get over the fact that Janis Joplin was 27 when she died, right?
Right. Yeah. 27. She was a 27 Club member.
And she like I always think of her as like an old lady.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, she's 59.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like her. Yeah.
Because we, you know, like growing up in this, you know, the age that we're in now, right? Our like kind of cool sociology teacher from undergrad with the like well-behaved women rarely make history bumper sticker, right? Looked like
I fucking hate that shit.
But they
yes.
3 years
sociology teachers all look like Janis Joplin.
Yeah, she looks exactly like a 3-year older version of Janis Joplin when she died, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think when you see black and white pictures of Janis Joplin, you think, oh, her hair is gray, but no, her hair was blonde.
Right. Yeah. It was sun bleach.
Or like light brown.
Yeah. Yeah, she had like brown hair that got sun bleached. Yeah. They used to throw lemons on people's hair. Like that's what they did to each other.
Yeah, I tried that as a kid.
Yeah. My internet connection is unstable. Oh, it's back. We're good.
Okay. So let's talk about Title Pond scam.
So there's only so much we can really say about what my role in this was, but I technically didn't fill out anybody's paperwork for them or like tell them how to do it or profit off of it, right? So this was entirely a thing that I just spread among the homeless population and may or may not have given phone numbers to salvage yards. So to find clean, non-salvage title vehicles that were at the salvage lot, which happens, right? You can have a totaled vehicle that was uninsured at this time. And that means that no insurance company has ever paid it out. So there's no totaling, right? Totaling doesn't happen until, So it was very normal for a car to be basically destroyed, yet have a clean title. Well, if you have a clean title and you walk into a title pawn place in 2004, they are going to just give you what that car's worth, like half of it Kelly Blue Book or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they're in the mindset that they are fucking you as hard as they can possibly fuck you, right? But if they're not looking at the car, again, buyer beware, you're forcing the capitalist to be the buyer. And it is not in their financial best interest to beware. They don't have the labor hours to spend on making someone inspect every car.
Right.
So then a salvage lot gives the guy the title, right? Clean VIN number, whatever. The car is totaled. It's in 6 foot.
It's all fake.
Hole in the ground, right? It's a fucking pile of rust and debris with no interior and rats piss in it, right? Like it is garbage.
Yes.
And then homeless guy walks in, clean social security card, clean, everything's fine, and says, I would like to pawn this title. And they go, hell yeah, I'm going to rape you in the ass. Like, I am going to burn you. Like, so they're like, here is $900.
Sick.
In cash. And your
for nothing.
Your payback schedule is $1,200 a month. Or so it's crazy. It's like they're going to make more money off the payoff schedule. So they just go, very cool. When's the first payment due? And they tells them, and they're like, awesome. I'll see you never. You know? And then they just leave with $900 in cash. And then that's first and last month's rent, right? It's a security deposit on a place. It's groceries. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Basic fucking human rights. So again, I never profited off of it, and I did not devise this scheme.
Yeah, you weren't involved in any way, shape, or form. You just saw this from a third party perspective.
Yeah, so it happened. Yeah.
Yes. You didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. Because again, I don't know what kind of fraud I even would have been a part of to this. Like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I just like maybe told some people about it. I maybe heard it from somebody else. So maybe I was just like
buyer beware.
A middleman. Yeah, exactly. Buyer beware. I was on the middleman side of the information. So like there's no telling what parts of it I had to do with and what I didn't.
Yeah.
But like one of my favorites was this dude had a 91 SL1 Saturn, like the plastic ones, right? So it looks like a car still, even if it's just unrunning and whatever. And like motherfucker ratchet strapped it like on the back of a truck, right? So dude had a pickup truck, not me. It was not my pickup truck. Dude ratchet strapped it to a title pawn place and parked it in a parking spot before open.
Yeah.
Had the key so he could open it, and the battery had a charge on it, right?
Yeah.
Engine doesn't start, won't run. This is an unrunning car. I don't think it had a transmission in the car.
Yeah, but they're used to that, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Title pawn, they want you to be like needing this car to get to work. Like the whole point is that you are selling your livelihood to them. Desperation. And to make like $300 a week payment.
Okay, so what did he do? How did he get him to?
He just turned the key on and the radio comes on, right? And the clock's right. Yeah. And the guy, like, because the guy inspected it and he was like, all right, here's the title, like, here's the salvage value of this car. Here's like $600 in cash, right? So then he just leaves. He's like, cool, I'm on foot today, so I'm going to just walk all the way. I'm just walking home. Thanks for the money. And then leaves the car there. He's like, is it cool if I leave the car here? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit. Makes it easier for me to repo it if I have to, like making jokes or whatever. And then he's like, that night he calls the salvage yard where he got the car in the first place and says, what will you pay me for this salvage car? And they pay him the same amount of money as the title pawn place. Right? Oh
my God.
And picked it up.
From the title place.
From the title pawn. Wow. Place. So motherfucker made $1,200 off of a
king shit.
$100. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is let's get outside of ourselves a little. You know what I mean? Comedy's back. Let's get fucking silly. And it's not just buyer beware, it's seller beware. It's seller wear things, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's my favorite one. By the way, cops are out of control, of course.
Yeah.
Not saying they're not. What I'm saying is get a blank red hat and keep it in your car. Just do, like, if you're like, I have a headlight out and I haven't changed it, but at night I put my red hat on.
Yeah.
That's been going for a good 5 days with no problems. Right?
Huh. Like, interesting.
I've got the headlight in the car. I just need to put it in. But red hat, I can run stop signs in front of cops, no problem.
Huh.
It's great. It's honestly like the best.
That's pretty fucked up. Well, not on your behalf.
No, they're just like, fuck it. That's a MAGA guy. It's cool.
Yeah, probably has a gun. Yeah. That's fucked. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen with all that. I don't see the whole police thing happening or changing, I mean, even with Biden, obviously.
Yeah, I'll read like abolitionists from as far ago, 1895 and 1910 and 1920 and 1930 and 1940. Every year, there's always been, since the history of police existing, there have been abolitionists, right?
Right.
Because it's so abnormal for the system to exist.
It's super fucked up.
Yeah. So do I feel hopeful for like the next 4 years having an abolition? Like, not really.
Yeah.
or even a defund effort or increase funding for making them less racist, right?
Right. No.
None of that am I hopeful for.
I know it's hard to gauge. I think when you're in it, it's hard to gauge if it's like getting better at all. Like if, like how many people are feeling the same way? Is it just me and there've always been people like this, or are there really more people that are kind of coming to terms with the fact that the police suck?
Right.
And it's really hard to tell if like there's more now than there were in the 80s or in the 1890s or whatever.
Right.
And
Right.
and it's like, is it progress or because it doesn't feel like it?
So it's definitely less as a percentage of the population than any time between like 1830 and 1930, right?
Yeah.
Because none of us are like going camping to like try to make cops show up and murder them, right? So it's definitely less of a movement than it was in 1830, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like how much of an electoral message is it, I would say it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like if all the people I know in my life, even people who I think sway more like liberal,
right,
kind of agree, maybe that's a good sign.
It should be one. Yeah, no, like
is it going to be lasting? I don't know.
Well, no, because as soon as they go back to brunch, they're going to get mad at you for even pointing out that it's still a problem, right?
Yeah, which is fine because they were never not mad at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, you're gonna really act up if I say something?
Right.
Oh shit.
Like, it goes back to like the only story I ever have of like being physically assaulted after a comedy show was during Obama being president, and it was by like a Republican like type of guy, but it was about an anti-Obama joke, right? Reframed him as right wing, and he was like upset about that.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, fuck you, he doesn't like the military. It's like, well, so like the joke was like that Obama liked the military, like did military stuff bad, right? Like did bad military stuff.
Yeah.
That's just a fact, right? Like now that's like accepted, right? That Obama's like drone striking people and
yeah, it's like a cliche almost.
Yeah, it's cliche. No one even is like second guessing it, but this guy like brain exploded like that's cool if he did that, but I hate him.
Yeah, so, but like yeah, I mean obviously I agree, but
yeah.
What year was that, you think?
8 or 9? No, not 9, but I was married, so 13.
Okay, so but in 2013 someone somewhere had to talk about it, and then eventually like you're gonna get like fucking Jimmy Kimmel or whatever making jokes about it. Maybe not, but you know what I mean? Like it's like a fucking you gotta ease people in, and there's gonna be people that I don't like that at all. Yeah. I don't like that.
Comedy is a great example of trickle up.
Right? Yeah, that's true. The joke material kind of trickles up. What's allowed to be joked about.
What's allowed to be joked about.
Like you're fucking testing it out.
Yeah.
And if it does well, they'll do it.
Yeah, it moves up the ladder.
Yeah.
Like the Burris like talking about Bill Cosby or whatever. It's like we all like we're he and I are the same age, and it's like that was my first Wikipedia ban, right?
Oh, really?
Like, saying that, right, on Wikipedia, putting it in the article was my first IP ban on Wikipedia.
Man.
As an editor. And I was like 17, 18.
Like, I'm not wrong. It's like the Hannibal Buress. Like, why are you booing me?
Yeah, it is. It's like, why are you
I'm right.
Me? I'm correct. Like, this is a fact.
Yeah.
And like I was a teenager, so I said it really probably problematically and I didn't back it up with sources. I was just like, well, there's no sources on it because he's paid an incredible amount of money for there not to be sources on it, but this definitely happened and here's their names. So I was like, that's all we know, right? So I put the thing, and like I kept this notepad document on my desktop at the time and would just like re-upload it like every 3 or 4 days, or just keep putting it back up until it would, because it was like the editorial process at the time was like so like they didn't have to be like citations needed, but we'll leave it up.
Yeah.
Like, this
you see that stuff. I think maybe because it was really serious, right? Like if you just said that he was like born in Kalamazoo or something,
they wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah.
they'd be like, we don't know for sure.
He raped somewhere between 7
But if
and
you said like Obama was born in Saudi Arabia, they're gonna be like, whoa, you need a source to just say that on here.
Yeah.
Oh God, remember when that's like all people cared about? Was
the president
stop talking about his birth certificate.
I
They just made it a thing in San Francisco.
Like, Hillary made that up, right? Like that's a thing. You know that?
I don't really know.
So the Hillary campaign, like Trump got in trouble for saying Hillary made it up, but like Hillary did be the first person to like say that, right? Like
when did she say it though? In 2008?
Yeah, in the primary, 7.
Oh, 7, yeah. You before 2008.
Yeah. So wow. She's like, her like campaign people said that shit. And then so Trump was like, in whatever year he said it, the same year probably, was like, this guy's born in Kenya, like Hillary Clinton said so. She's never lied to me about anything before, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, why are you mad at me? She's the one that told me to say it, So like, it is crazy, like how much like that. What do you call it? I wonder though, did Obama be in on that, right? So like, how far?
I don't know.
How far Hillary? So like Hillary and Obama, like politically, are like not far apart, right? Like it's not
right.
Like Obama's left of Hillary, or
they're no, not like that. They're all the fucking same.
Yeah, they're like identical, and then like. So, like, how much of that's OPSEC? Like, how much of it was like, you know what, it would be dope if we could just make people shut the fuck up because they believe this one dumb thing?
Yeah.
Then you go back and be like, oh, you said that I was born in a different country. Here's my long-form hospital book, like, and then now everything you say sucks, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a bad example of it because it is like, oh, no, if someone seriously thought he wasn't born in this country, they probably were really dumb. Right? Or acting in bad faith.
Very misinformed, yeah.
Or racist, right? So that's fine. But then it also did function as this, like, you can't second guess anything he says ever, right? Because now you believe a thing that a person that believes that he was not born in this country believes. And now you're the same as a person that's a birther, right? Yep. Because you think drone strikes are bad, you're the same as Alex Jones.
Right.
And Alex Jones was a birther. Well,
right.
I don't know if Alex Jones was or not, but like people that believe a lot of Alex Jones stuff also believed like the Hillary Trump thing of like birthing.
Yeah. The weird thing about, so this is how I feel sort of about these elections is, so 2008.
Yes.
We have Obama, right? And I think that a lot of people, at least at the time, were super stoked about that for like really good reasons.
Yes.
Progressive candidate, especially after friggin' W and everything. And obviously first Black president. That's a huge, like, at least in terms of like representation, huge milestone.
Yeah.
Milestone makes it sound like something that like a baby does like at 18 months, but anyways, like a huge deal that happened.
Right.
But what happened is a bunch of people on the right really hated it for all the worst reasons.
Right.
Right. Because not only was he progressive to them, they're thinking, oh, he's too progressive, but also they're like racist. Just straight up like, and we heard it. Like we all remember hearing that shit about like people making jokes and like, oh, it looks like the country isn't racist anymore because we had a Black president. Like dumb shit people said for years.
But then like the whole 8-year period, you would every now and then see like a mannequin in a tree dressed like him.
Oh, well, that too, but also like we don't even have to get into the fact that like Ferguson and all that shit happened during Obama's but
But there was like a
the point is the point is that then all these Tea Party Republican type people, 2016 rolls around. Well, they tried in 2012, but 2016 rolls around, and what do we get? We get fucking Donald Trump.
Right.
And the thing is, I feel like there's this back and forth where like what's most important is electing the candidate that the other side is going to hate so much that a third party cannot ever crop up.
Right.
Because it has to be a fucking emergency every election to get this person out.
Yes.
So for the right, getting Obama out was, or keeping Hillary out was the biggest thing. So right-wing populist type conservatives or libertarians were never going to form a third party if it meant that Hillary might win.
Right.
And same thing happens now. And we just saw it this year. The left coalesced around the fucking liberals and said, fine, we'll fucking vote for him. Get the fucking guy out of office, whatever. And people very, like jaded, but they did it. And people, obviously it worked. But how many third party votes were there?
Zero. Like
unless you count Joe Jorgensen, however you say it.
That doesn't count.
Jorgensen.
That's one of the fun ones because those are the numbers on the Never Trump Republican, right?
Yeah, pretty much, and that's also like they 100% took those votes from Trump.
Right.
But whatever, I don't care about that. My point is that you're always going to have this candidate that's so divisive to the other side that they're like, well, this year isn't the year to do the third party.
Right.
Next time.
It's always just going to be that.
And then it's 2020.
Yeah. That's what I think Biden, I'm kind of, this is going to sound fucked up, but I'm like glad Biden won the primary, right? Because what would a Bernie president, if Obama being president, right, and having this progressive language with zero policy to back it up, what would happen if there actually was policy to back it up? Would it bring everybody forward, or would it make them react so well? They can't just do racism, right? They can't hang it from a tree, right? They have to engage with the policy, and then if they actually hate it, then we're in a bad place. Then we're really in the next is like Hitler. Yeah, it's like Hitlerian and a really far right reaction.
Well, and a lot of people who I think were like, look, I like Bernie and everything, but you really think he's going to be able to implement any of these policies within the system, which is kind of a jaded or nihilistic way to look at it, but it's kind of true. It's the Democratic Party couldn't even successfully impeach Trump because of the way that I remember watching that impeachment hearing and then watching it when it passed in the House, and then they couldn't close it in the Senate. And I remember thinking to myself, I'll never be able to sit through one of these again with hope that it's going to work, because obviously this wasn't going to fucking work.
Right.
And how much time did we just spend on this?
Millions of dollars. So that's one of the things where it's well, actually they go oh, would he be able to get it done? Bernie or whatever. And you go, oh shit, he would be able to do anything he wants. It's the president.
Oh, there's that too, the executive order.
The executive branch is just unfucking impeachable, literally unimpeachable.
Yeah, what's that term called? Unitary.
Yeah, it was a thing Obama talked shit on. He was and rightly so. He was yo, I shouldn't have this much power.
It's the Bill Barr thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways. But yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. And then also the vice president can do whatever the fuck they want with fully it's your data's confidential for 10 years or something. It's crazy. So yeah, he'd be able to do whatever the fuck
unitary executive theory.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the president can do anything and everything and get away with it.
It's what is it? The Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost are all God. And then so the executive branch, I'm God, and then the Son.
They're redundant.
Yeah, the Son's me, the Holy Ghost's me, and then we're all just God, and then God, and that's it. So,
and I can kill the Son and the Holy Ghost if I fucking feel like it, because I'm God.
If I fucking decide, it's canon. Motherfucker, Marvel.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes me feel really great, is knowing that no matter what the election, no matter who it is versus who, it's always going to be so dire that a third party is never going to be an option.
Right.
And I think that it was sweet and naive that we like maybe wanted that or thought that. I'm not like, I guess some people would say like an accelerationist or whatever the term is, where like you just want to like accelerate straight into like the descent into chaos or whatever. Like I don't want that. I've got 2 kids. I don't want that shit.
Right.
But like there's got to be something like so massive to create change. And because everything that people do that's like, I guess you would say like above board,
right,
doesn't work.
Right.
At all.
No, you've got to do some illegal shit, right?
Yep.
You gotta scam
pretty much.
Right? You gotta get out there and buy some medical debt.
Yeah, maybe I should go do that.
For like $10K.
Oh, I don't have any money.
Well, honestly, I wonder what the smallest amount. I'll get back to you on that. But we may have another sponsor on next week's podcast.
Oh, nice.
Of a debt consolidation firm. That, whatever. Like, but you can buy capital for pennies on the dollar when it's called like at-risk capital. And then instead of being like, hey, you owe us the amount that you owed this person and making an insane amount of profit on it, you just go, hey, that $7,000 you owe, it's $0. If you want to donate $5, you're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep buying people's medical debt and then just keep doing that.
Yep.
So like, I think the biggest thing you can do is, just fuck people over, but do it good.
Yeah, like the bad people, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the only thing you can do.
Fuck over bad system.
Well, and that's the fucked up part about so many of these scams is that usually they go after people who have the least.
Right.
And it's like, come on, let's do a scam where we like a Robin Hood scam.
Right.
Right.
That's the funnest thing about that title pawn scam story, by the way, is like all those people that worked on commission, right,
are also poor.
They were all poor too, and
it's poor people fucking poor people over.
No, you're helping them.
Yeah.
They're hitting their nut because you're like,
yeah,
you're like hooking them the fuck up. These scumbags.
Oh, you mean if you scam them?
No, you're scamming the business. They just
you're scamming the business. Yeah, I guess that's true.
The means of production, they're just fucking like on commission. So like every single one that they sign up, they give you $600. That's a projected payout of like whatever.
Yeah.
They don't go, hey, let's give you a cut of the immense profit we're making. They go, you give someone $600 for a title, and we'll give you $80.
Yep.
Right. So like. And then they're off the hook. It doesn't matter who makes the payment or not. Those pawn shop, like same with a pawn shop employee. Like if you pawn a fake diamond ring, the guy that's selling it to you or buying it from you isn't on the hook when it's fake.
Yeah, unless he owns the shop or something. But yeah, nope.
That never happens anymore. Like It's all these like corporate entities that are like small shark, like loan sharks.
I know, but yeah, I just wish there were more scams that were scamming super rich people. I mean, I guess Theranos.
Yeah.
Didn't she scam a bunch of like millionaires and billionaires?
Yeah, we stand an anti-capitalist queen. Like.
Well, yeah, I don't really know for sure. I have to revisit that. It's been a while since I've looked into that. I think unfortunately though, she got in trouble. Like she's in prison, right?
In real jail, yeah. She's like,
it didn't work because if she had been a rich person scamming poor people, she wouldn't be in jail right now.
Right, but she scammed.
It's only because those billionaires and millionaires that she scammed have the resources to just go after her, And
it goes back to like, why is Elon Musk such a dummy? Like it may be on purpose. Like he may be like, hey, rich people, look how fucking stupid this is. Like they're smart enough to not dump billions into him, and then all these kind of like middle class, like fake middle, working poor people with under 300K and a year incomes, right? We're all working class, non-wealthy people, are able to be like, let me put $500 on it, like, and then so he's just got like
to feel fancy, right?
Right. I own a little bit of Tesla stock. So,
oh yeah, he'll finally be your big break.
Yeah, they're all like, just come on, and so it's this giant like ongoing pump and dump, right, where he's like, he gets a military contract and then he says a dumb thing on Twitter, and then he gets another military contract and he says a dumb thing on Twitter. So
there's like the John Mulaney. It's like Trump is, and he said this before Trump was president. He's like, Trump is like a homeless man's idea of what a rich guy looks like.
Yes.
And to me, Elon Musk is a middle-class person's idea of what a fucking rich person looks like.
Yeah.
And like the idea that he'll sell you this fancy car.
White Redditor's version of what a genius.
A libertarian version.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what?
Just a little taste of heaven.
The dumbest person in the world's version of what a smart person is.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great example. Yeah.
Elon Musk sucks.
He sucks so fucking
bad. I remember like, around like 2017 or 2018, which was really like peak Tesla years, right?
Yes.
I used to go on Reddit just, like for fun, I guess. Not anymore. And oh my God, that website loves that man.
Yeah. And
then there's I think there is a Reddit called like Elon Musk. Hey. It's called like stop worshiping Elon Musk or something like that. Something along those lines.
Enough Tesla spam.
Yes, that's it. I was just gonna look it up. Yes, and it's like people just making fun of these people that just worship this dude.
Yeah, it's great. Because it's also like, it is every fucking where in Reddit, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, dude, this is about trees. Like, we're in a tree sub. This is about Arbor Day. Like, we're talking about planting fucking trees. Why are you sucking Elon Musk's dick?
Or like, you'll literally be in like late stage capitalism and someone comes in and is like, the cars will save us. And it's like, get out.
Where are you? Yeah. Why
are you lost?
Yeah. There was one, it was like a little known left sub one time. It was like Leftorium, which is like the Simpsons memes.
I don't think I ever knew that one.
It's just communist Simpsons memes.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Very, very nice and very small.
Yeah, right? I like those really niche ones.
Yeah, I love it. So like, it's the tiniest thing in the world, and they're just like, they come up with some of the greatest memes ever because it's Simpsons memes, which is also great.
It's great.
The Simpsons, you can't fuck with the Simpsons.
I mean, Simpsons can be anything too, because it's just.
Yeah, it can say anything it wants.
Simpsons did it, yeah.
So, but yeah, somebody's in the fucking comment thread like, but fancy man build car, and you're like, where are you? Yeah. There's 8 people in this subreddit. How did you find this?
Yep. Has Elon Musk been on The Simpsons? Probably, right?
Okay, Googling.
He probably has been. I feel like everybody has been.
Yeah, the Musk who fell to Earth. Oh, he looks way better in The Simpsons than he looks in real life.
Which real life version of him are we referring to here?
All of them?
Yeah, okay. Elon.
Oh my God. They made his
he really looks like much better.
Beefy golf shirt biceps, which is like, dude,
yeah, I see that. His
shoulders so broad. Looking at it, he's like got a clipboard and he's like looking at Homer.
Jesus.
All right, yeah, everybody Google that. It's crazy.
That is way too flattering.
Oh, and then here's a great Business Insider article that they did not need to do that because they already had a supervillain called Hank Scorpio.
Oh, man.
Which is pretty good because he did use a flamethrower.
Jesus. I see that. Yeah, I just saw that one. That's funny.
Yeah, everybody give that a Google. Elon Musk on The Simpsons.
Yeah, and there have been a couple times in casual conversation because like it's like you get brain worms from being online all the time,
right?
And in real life, like bringing it up and someone says something and I'm like, fuck Elon Musk, and people are like, wait, why?
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that people love this person.
How did you not know that? Like, or it's so that's what's great about like living in the South and again we're like running way over time, but like living in the South and running into like reactionaries or like Republicans, and they'll have a hatred of Elon Musk too.
Oh,
right. Where you're like, like they're not hopeful about it. They're like, that truck is fucking stupid.
Oh, interesting. So for them, it's like an aesthetic thing. It's not like,
I don't know what it, well, because we'll get into it and they'll be like, big tech is bad. And I'm like, yeah, it's owned by the CIA. Like the CIA influences big tech. It's bad. Yeah. And they're like,
yeah.
wait, what? Lefties don't like big tech either, you know?
Like, we don't like anything, okay?
Yeah.
That's
like,
our thing.
Everything.
Don't take that from us. That's our thing.
Everything you don't like, we didn't like for a long time.
Yeah. Well, and okay, so obviously people are always talking about, oh, the left is so fractured and everything, but
Right.
the right is really kind of losing itself. Like I was just thinking about this, where like you see like all the Q people are like, no child predators, you know what I mean? Like, and they're talking about how Hollywood is all these just like adrenochrome, you know, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then like they love Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, they love Brett Kavanaugh and they love the CIA and they
exactly. So it's like this weird thing where there's like always this Venn diagram, and then they're always in the middle of loving and hating the same thing. And it's the same thing with like you'll see the these people out here with like a thin blue line flag.
Yeah.
And like a V for Vendetta mask.
Right.
And I'm like, is that what you think Anonymous is? And is that what you think V for Vendetta was about?
Right.
And so it's really funny because it's like they really have this like really special form of cognitive dissonance, I think, where like they're able to love and hate something at the same time and not understand that it's the same thing.
Right.
And it's like, and even still, like certain parts of the right really hate Fox News, and certain ones only listen to Fox News still. So it's really weird. I think there's a lot of weird messaging going on over there.
I think like CNN, there's going to be a coalescing of like the Fox News watcher as a normie. So there will be like a Fox News right.
And then there's like OANN, yeah.
Then there's the like CNN watching like lib normie.
Oh, right.
So like, just like CNN is not left by any means, right? Fox isn't going to eventually be right by any means. They'll just do the normal American opinion, right? So both of them are expressing like these very close together opinions fractured off by like micrometers, right?
Right.
So they're like so close together, and yet.
And there's also this thing happening on the right with like they don't use the American flag anymore.
I wish they would stop, but I hope the left doesn't try to start.
Well, yeah, so that's a whole different thing. I don't really know if that's going to happen, but like, it's just interesting because like I can recall most of my life, like thinking a lot of right wings, like Tea Party people, especially like American flag. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, the American flag's kind of cringe. Yeah. And like, but now like you go and you'll see every flag except the American flag. Yeah. And it's really weird because they use the
really popular
snake flag. Thin blue line, the snake flag, the thin blue line, Trump.
The come and get it, come and take it, right? The cannon.
Yeah, and then also just like the like Confederate flag.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's that one. But yeah, so it's really interesting because it used to be like you'd see someone, they have like an American flag and a Confederate flag, which also was kind of but whatever.
It's like a Nazi flag and a Soviet flag. It's like one of these things killed the other.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense.
Yeah. All right. I think I got to go in a minute. I think I've got to go do a parent-teacher conference.
Hell yes. Let's wrap this motherfucker.
So I got to get out of this mode so I can get into Zoom mode for parent-teacher. So I'm not doing this style of commentary about my kindergartner.
Yeah. Episode 38. Great. Joined by
Thanks for having me back on.
Kelgore. Going to throw the link in the bio description, whatever. And I'll tweet the links out, etc., etc., etc. Thanks again for being on. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Later. Bye.
Thanks for watching.